there was a tribute to my father at 56 Hope Road, the Bob Marley Museum, and I was trying to get through the gate. And one of the security guys saw me trying to come through and started to clear the way for me. And he was like, make space, Gang Junior coming, Gang Junior, Gang Junior. So that's kind of when it kind of clicked on me. I said, all right, I like that.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all are doing good. Hope you all are doing great. So your boy here come across this one, wherein Damian Marley addresses a lot in an exclusive interview. So you wanna stay tuned. And don't forget, I'm here on the Black Unity program. So feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel if you're new. With that being said, let's go ahead and check this one out, guys.
But that is where I guess you say she really met my father and, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So they ended up having you.
Yeah.
But your father ended up passing when you were 2 years old.
Yes.
So you never really got a chance to really know him like that.
Yeah.
What was it like, before you started getting into music, when you were 5 years old, 10 years old, and you're growing up in this family, because your father had 11 children. Mm. Were you guys all close in the beginning?
As far as I can remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've always been close. My older brothers and sisters always, them check for me, As a little baby, they would always still come pick me up, and we'd always, holidays, we go spend time, and, you know what I mean? And even our mothers were very supportive of that, of us coming together as children, you know what I mean? So as far back as I can remember, yeah.
Okay. And you're the youngest child?
Youngest son.
So there's a daughter that's younger than you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're growing up in this environment. At what point did you think, okay, I wanna start doing some music myself?
It was always there. I mean, as a very young child, I can remember having to perform my father's songs. I used to put on vinyl. I used to have a little Fisher Price turntable.
Okay.
And I would put on his songs and pretend to be on stage, and that was like a nightly ritual before going to bed. So it was always something that was there in my life, and till we started doing shows in my aunt's living room. And then my aunt, Donna Core, she was the one who really said, let's try to do it publicly. So we started doing like Mother's Day events, little girls' birthday parties, things of this nature. And that was with a group called the Shepherds.
Right, and that was with Freddie McGregor's daughter.
Right.
And
Cat Core
from Third World,
right.
His son.
Right, so his mom was the one who put it together. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right. So, so that was, again, it was always something that was very dear from when I was very young. And then what really happens still now is that, dancehall music play a real big influence in me becoming an artist too.
Okay.
Because, of course, my family's music was always present, but dancehall music was the first music I started to buy for myself.
Yeah.
And going to concerts, I would always have the opportunity to go to concerts as a young child. And, I would remember seeing people like Shabba Ranks and Tiger and Peter Metro, and I would say I want to be like that. I want to do what they're doing.
Right.
As opposed to saying I want to be doing what my dad is doing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. But when you were growing up and you were playing your dad's songs, were there specific songs that you really loved?
I can't remember what they were when I was that age. There's,
right.
I can tell you, so for me now, I would say I kind of like, in generally speaking, the more darker sounding stuff. So One Love might not always be on my playlist, like personally.
Zimbabwe, songs like that?
Yeah, and top ranking and,
Okay. Were you Junior Gong when you were in the Shepherds, or did that come later?
No, that came later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did the Junior Gong name come about?
It came about really shortly after we stopped doing the Shepherds, shortly after that, because of now becoming basically a solo artist. And again, within the dancehall community, you wouldn't usually use your government name, you know what I mean? So trying to search for an acronym, you know what I mean? And of course, being that Gang is one of my father's nicknames, you know?
Yeah.
But there was a little event still. There was a tribute to my father at 56 Hope Road, the Bob Marley Museum, and I was trying to get through the gate. And one of the security guys saw me trying to come through and started to clear the way for me. And he was like, make space, Gang Junior coming, Gang Junior, Gang Junior. So that's kind of when it kind of clicked on me. I said, all right, I like that one. You know? I'm going to work with it since that. Yeah.
So you were Junior Gang at that point.
Yeah.
Now, you started working on your first album, Mr. Marley.
Yeah.
Now, what I think got everyone by surprise was that unlike Ziggy, you were more of a DJ style
Right.
artist, which, you could sort of compare it to rapping versus singing in a way.
Right.
Right, where a DJ in reggae is the guy on the mic, whereas the selector is the DJ.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you came out with more of a new style. Was there a reason why you went with that style as opposed to going with like the classical singing style that your brother did so well with?
Again, just like I was saying before, because I've grown up with dancehall music as my music. You know what I mean? And again, being impressed by my dancehall heroes and wanting to do what they were doing. So it was really just more because being a fan of rhyming as opposed to singing, you know? Yeah.
But you were singing as well.
Back then, not really so much.
Okay, that
you
came
know?
later.
Yeah.
Mr. Marley comes out, and it had a good reception.
Yeah.
But the second album, Halfway Tree, comes out, and that wins a Grammy.
That wins a Grammy, yeah.
So your second album that you put out already wins a Grammy. How did it feel to win a Grammy that early on in your career?
Great. And I was growing up against some, well, in particular, Barry Salmon, who's a legend in Jamaican music, you know what I mean? So to win a Grammy, being that he was someone else who was up for the Grammy
Essentially
also.
the Marvin Gaye of
Jamaican
Jamaica.
music, yeah. So, that was wow for me, That was,
you weren't
a great
expecting it.
accomplishment. Can't say I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I knew I stood a great chance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In general, yeah.
Now the whole concept of the name Halfway Tree.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Well, Halfway Tree is a place in Jamaica. It's kind of like a big roundabout, And the reason I named the album Halfway Tree, because this place is almost like you'd say in between downtown and uptown. Downtown being, the more, you'd say, rougher side of town, and uptown being the more privileged side of town,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So because of me, myself, being like where both of these worlds meet, being where my father is from and where my mother is from, I named the album Halfway Tree, as a metaphor for my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a theme that you've really carried on through a lot of your music because, like you have the Ghetto Youths crew.
Yeah.
Right? That's your thing.
Yeah.
And you sing about oppression.
Yeah.
But you yourself grew up in somewhat of a privileged lifestyle.
Absolutely.
How does that really balance out? Because you don't really see, when you look at reggae in general, most of the artists come from the slums. Mm-hmm. Even Bounty Killer, I think, we're dissing. Didn't he diss certain artists, call them Uptown Boys and stuff like that at certain points?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does that balance out when you're singing about an oppression that you yourself may not have actually experienced?
I'm only one generation removed, so I'm counting my blessings. You know what I mean? Perhaps if it wasn't for music and my father being who he was, I might not exist. Who knows? At the same time, if Jamaica is not a huge place, you don't have to really, search far to really know what's going on. And, if you're someone who check for human beings, then, you'd care for those who need help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know my history. And it's very important, I know my foundation, and we have friends and family who come from rough places.
Yeah.
My son, we care.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really it.
Bring over. So my people, this one was indeed a warm and interesting one. So feel free to leave an honest comment down in the comment section. And also on your own opinion. And on you don't know say, me day up on the Black Unity program. So feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel if you're new. Bless up to each and every one. Up until then, peace out. Adios.